Hi, my name is Kate Kosminski, and I'm so glad you're here to get some essential tips and tricks for styling kids' hair. Now, my number one go-to thing is you need a really good hairspray bottle. This is a continuous spray one. Kids love it. You can get it from Amazon. I will have it linked. And what I do is I mix the spray bottle with half leave-in conditioner and half tea tree oil, because we all know there's lice at school, and if we can prevent it, that's what we're going to use. And we're going to use this to detangle hair. It's the easiest thing that you can do to make sure that there's no tears when it comes to detangling hair. Another tip is to get a wet brush. You can get these on Amazon as well. I will have it linked. The reason why I like these brushes is the bristles are extremely flexible, and there's a coating on the bristles to make sure that you're not tugging that hair. It glides through the hair smoothly, and once you have one, you will never ever go back to another brush. You want to use this brush in the shower or the bath with your kid to detangle the hair before they get out. So the wet brush and the mix of leave-in conditioner and tea tree oil are game changers. The first thing I want to show is how to braid hair. I know it is a struggle for a lot of people. The movement of the fingers, it's really tricky. So I'm going to show you on this mannequin, and as you can see, the mannequin head is a little frazzled because that's what our kid's hair is going to look like, okay? Let's be real. I'm going to section the hair in two to show you how to do pigtail braids. I think that's the most common one that we're gonna need to know how to use. Here is our lovely mannequin. And this is how I'm gonna start sectioning the hair. I'm gonna take it over the ear and just behind. You can start this however you want, but this is how we're gonna practice on how to do a braid. We're gonna split the hair into three. I like to rake my 2 pointer fingers through to create even sections of 3. Now feel the density. If it's not even, you can switch it, but honestly, it's gonna be fine. It's our kids' hair, right? This is the basics. Now, the way I've been taught that I find the easiest is you take the outside and move it into the middle of the other two and alternate sides. So I'm gonna start on the right. I'm gonna take my right side and put it in between the other two, and I catch it with my pointer finger and middle finger. So now we have these two sections, we're back to 3. Now I'm going to take the outside, my left section, and put it in between these two. So I'm actually gonna drop those fingers to make it easier and put it in between. Now we're back at square one. I'm gonna drop the fingers in between, take the right hand side, I'm putting it in between the other two. Okay, and we're repeating. Now, I'm gonna show you how I use my finger placement to hold it tighter. I use my thumb and my forefinger to hold the braid in place. My finger is in behind. I will pinch these two sections to secure it, knowing that I can release this side one and pull the tension and move it into the middle like we did, and I clamp it with my 2 fingers. The 2 fingers I'm using are my middle and my ring finger. I'm gonna grab the outside, pinch from behind with my pointer finger and my thumb like we did before, and now I can release this without losing any tension within the braid. Now I'm going to take that outside one and put it in between my 2 fingers and grab it as I pinch with my other 2 fingers while holding the section. So what we're doing is we're using our thumb and our pointing finger to pinch at the base of the braid and hold on to the outside section so that it is clear to put our outside section in between the 2 middles. Again, grabbing with our hand, using our pointer finger and our thumb, we're gonna clamp that base of the braid, and now we have it secure and we can see what we're doing. This is the base of how to do a secure braid without it falling out. And we're just going to repeat. Outside, into the middle, grab that with our fingers, pinch, and we can release the left side. Left side into the middle, grab with our hand, pinch, and we can release the right hand side and continue down. Now you may end up with less hair on one side and more on the other. That just means that our sectioning at the beginning was uneven. We had more hair on one side than the other, so we lost the hair as we go down. Who cares? We're learning how to braid. I love these mini elastics. I will have them linked below. And there we have a basic braid, a 3-strand braid. Now I'm going to teach you how to do a French braid. It is basically the same as what we just learned, which is the basic 3-strand braid, but we're going to incorporate hair as we pull it into the middle. Here is the French braid. I'm going to do a side braid just to show how it's done, and then I will do another video of it down the middle to show the 2 variations on how to achieve a French braid. The same thing that we did before is we're going to take a section higher up and split it into 3 equal parts. I'm going to use my 2 fingers to slide down to create 3 equal strands. Now we're going to start the same way where the outside goes into the middle. Here are 3 strands. Outside goes into the middle. Once we have enough that starts to create a base, then we can start doing our pinching technique. But for right now, we're just trying to create a little bit more of a base. So now we can see that tighten up together. So I'm going to go back to pinching between my finger and my thumb. We would put this side into the middle, but we're going to add hair into it. So the way I do it is I slide my pinky all the way down in an even section and then add it to that middle section. Okay? Now we're going to do that pinch technique, okay? So we've got the right hand side in between our fist and our thumb and our pointer finger pinching that base. Now we have this outside strand, but before I put it into the middle, I'm going to grab some hair from the left hand side and then pick up that previous section and put it into the middle just like we did before. Then I'm going to switch. I'm going to grab the underneath section with my fist, use my thumb and my pointer finger to pinch it. Okay, so we've got 1 section, 2 section, 3. We're doing the outside into the middle like we did before, but we're going to gather hair as we go. Again, I'm going to use my pinky, gather the hair, and pick up that section along the way, put it into the middle. I'm going to grab this with my fist, and thumb and pointer finger are going to pinch at the base, okay? Another way to do this, if you're having trouble gathering the hair at the same time, when we're in this section and we need to incorporate more hair to that left-hand side before we bring it in, what I like to do is I can add it first and I release one of my fingers. I usually use my middle just to keep it out of the way. So I'm still clamping with my fist down here. My thumb and forefinger are still pinching, keeping it secure, but I want to gather this left section already and bring it into the middle before I grab more hair. So now it's out of the way. Now I can grab hair from the left-hand side. And it's cleaner, easier. Some people find this way a little bit easier. And then I'm going to bring it into that middle section. Grab the underneath into a fist. The pointer finger goes underneath in the thumb and we're pinching that together. So on this side, if we want to do that same technique, I'm going to release that middle finger from my fist, guide it in so that I have more ability to grab a section from the right-hand side and incorporate it in. Fist, pinch, move it over. And we're gathering hair as we go. I've lost the hair on the side, so I'm just grabbing from underneath and adding in. pinch, move it over, grab some hair. If you're running out of hair on this side, you don't have to gather it in. It's still gonna look okay. So I'm not gonna gather on this side. I'm just gonna continue the braid, and I didn't add anything in. So again, I'm clamping, I'm pinching, I'm adding over, and continuing to add hair, but only from the left-hand side because we've lost hair on the right. There's no more hair gathered, that's okay. And the last section. Fist, pinch, into the middle. Fist, pinch, into the middle. Fist, pinch, into the middle. Here we have the basic 3-strand braid on one side and the French braid on the other. So we are going to do a traditional French braid, all the hair back in one French braid. Here we go. So again, we're gonna start, the mannequin head is just parted down the middle. Whatever your kid's hair wants to do, just rock with it. So we're gonna start with taking a little bit of a oval circle section in the crown of the head, and we're gonna start by doing our 2 fingers down the middle to create 3 equal sections. Now we're gonna do that same grip technique. I'm gonna show you with 1 French braid going all the way back, more traditional, okay? We're gonna start with a traditional braid where the outside goes into the middle until we have enough at the base of the braid to anchor it so that we can start doing that pinch technique. So we have it about there. It's about 1, 2, 3 sections. I'm gonna grab it with my right hand. I'm gonna pinch my pointer and thumb together to anchor those ones, keep them in place. Drop the left side and grab hair with it and bring it into the middle. Gripping that left side, pinching down with our pointer finger and thumb and releasing the right hand side, okay? Our other technique is to release our middle finger and do a little hook so it's out of the way, grab hair as we go and add it into that hook. Then we're gonna grab the underneath section, grip it in your fist, pointer and thumb to anchor, release, grab section from the side to add in, or hook it into that middle finger and then add to it. Grip, pinch, release. I'm gonna hook it, add, grip, pinch. Now we can release that. I'm gonna hook it and continue all the way down. Grip, pinch, do a little hook. The bigger the sections that you're going to take, the bigger this middle braid is going to look. The smaller the sections that you take from the side, the skinnier that braid will look because you'll have more sections adding in. So consider that if your kid wants to have curly or wavy hair, if you're taking big sections, you're going to get a bigger wave. If you take smaller sections, you're going to get a tighter wave. And then at the very end, we're just going to repeat all the way down, pinch, hook, release, grab, pinch, hook, release, grab, pinch, hook, release. You can get faster at it. Here is our traditional French braid going all the way back into the middle. Next up, I'm going to teach you how to do a cornrow braid. So ones that are skinny and tight, my son loves them. Lots of kids are liking longer hair. This is basically a French braid, but we're sectioning out the hair in a very skinny rectangle, and we're only pulling hair from that section as opposed to the whole section. So here we go. I always spray the hair down, makes it easier. To set yourself up for success, we want to section the hair away and only expose the part that we're gonna use. So grab whatever section you want. So here is my middle section that I will be using, but I am going to make sure that these sections are very secure and put away. That's going to help with success. If you don't make these sections clean, you're gonna end up pulling hair that you don't want, and then you're gonna get frustrated and throw your brush or get in a fight with your child, okay? I've done it before, I've troubleshooted this, make sure it's nice and clean, get them out of the way, okay? So here is that very front section that we're gonna start on. Ideally, you're gonna be on top, your kid's gonna sit down and you're gonna be working like this. I'm going to have to adjust it for the mannequin head so that you can really see what I'm doing. The easiest way to start a cornrow is to not section it in 3 right away, because we want it to start as close to the edge of the hair as possible. So I just start with 2, wrap it, and then I start adding another piece in. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add it underneath the hair as opposed to on top. This is what a cornrow is. The braid sits on top as opposed to being incorporated within the hair. So I've split this in 2. Now I do this really with holding my hands in a certain way. So now I'm gonna add a piece and I'm putting it underneath those 2 instead of on top, okay? And I hold it with a fist like this, like we were doing before. And then I grab that other side again with my 2 fingers and I leave this one out. I grab a little bit of hair, add it, okay? And then what I'm doing with that fist is I'm twisting it in and then grabbing it with the other hand and releasing, okay? Grabbing that little bit of hair, adding it to the middle, okay? And then I'm going to rotate my hand in and pick up that outside piece with the other hand, okay? So we're still doing that technique of grabbing our section like a fist so that we know when we twist it, we have that inside one. Okay, so what did I do now? Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit of hair to that underneath. And then twist our wrist, grab that section. You can release or hold on to it. Add that other section of hair underneath. So we want to make sure our hand's in a fist, twisting underneath. So you can see how that braid is starting to sit on top. And then just continue. This one's gonna be harder. And it's gonna take some practice. I'm gonna spin the mannequin head around so I can show you the same angle that you will be doing it. Okay, so we're still doing that fist technique. I'm gonna go through that again. So we've got a fist in this hand. We've got our 2 sections here. I will be twisting underneath, grabbing it. I can release that side, pick up some hair along the way, attach it, get this one back into my fist, and then I'm rotating my wrist in and picking up that bottom section, adding hair, putting this back into my fist, twisting that one under, grabbing it, release, add some hair, fist, twist. And the twisting is making sure that we're getting that section to come underneath. Grab, twist underneath. So now we're at the end. So you can still continue with this technique. So grab, twist underneath, okay? Fist, forefinger and thumb, grab that section, twist. I've already got my fist here. Pinky and forefinger, grab that section, twist. Just gonna re-grip, pinky forefinger, grab that little section and twist. Okay. Now, if you wanna just continue and do kind of our pinch technique, we can do that as well to finish off that braid, but we're going underneath instead of on top. You can make these sections as big or as skinny as you want. Start bigger, it's easier, and then you can always make them smaller. So here is our cornrow that's starting within that section, and you can see how that braid sits on top of the hair, and that's because we're putting the hair underneath as opposed to on top. Okay, so this is a cornrow. You can also do this with a French braid, and you can practice the whole thing and go under, and that's an inside out braid. So you'll start with this and then you can add sections. More advanced would be creating more of a design section. So with my son, what I'll do sometimes is I'll do like a zigzag part on either side. Again, cleaning out those sections on either side, so I'm only working within that zigzag to pick up the pieces to continue, and then you can just mess around with that. So here are the braids, try them out, rewatch this video. You're gonna have to rewatch it a few times in order to get it, and just practice. Put on a show for your kid. Maybe your kid's practicing reading. You'll be a champ in no time. Now let's do some fun styles. I'm gonna show you a few easy elastic hairstyles that we can do on our kids that makes us look like we tried really hard, but we really didn't, and it's just a great thing to have in your hair belt. So first thing I'm gonna do, this is going to be split in half, and we're going to do 2 different types of ponytails to get this style. Clip it out of the way or use an elastic. I'm just gonna use a clip. Now this is a series of ponytails. You can start as close to the front of the hairline as you like, or as far away as you want. I'm gonna start kind of medium back, kind of what we've been doing for a bit. You're gonna take your first section. You can rake it back with your fingers or a brush, whatever works best for you. Add in a mini elastic or the elastics of your choice. We're gonna keep it a little bit closer to the scalp. We're not gonna hold the ponytail up, because then if we drop it, we're gonna have bubbling at the bottom. Nothing too tight, okay? Now we're gonna hold on to the base of the elastic, and I'm just gonna pull a little bit out through the top. And all that's doing is giving us a little bit of volume through this top section. Now we're gonna take more hair and add it in to that same ponytail. I'm just gonna grab it and go kind of right on top of it. I'm taking sections from both sides and adding it into the middle and picking up that previous ponytail with it on top and adding an elastic. Now we're not doing it too tight, just a few wraps. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna hold that base of that elastic, and I'm gonna pull out that section in between the elastics, this part here, to make it bubble the same way. So just like little pulls, that's all. There we go. So we have a little bit of volume. We're gonna continue. So take more sections from either side, add it to that previous ponytail, secure it with an elastic. Now we're going to hold onto that base of the elastic, and in between the other two, we're gonna pull this hair out. Just little gentle pulls. So now we have these bubbles starting, and then we're gonna continue down. Now there's not much hair to add, if any, and you just keep going with the elastics, as many as you want. The fun thing with this with kids, again, we're gonna grab the 2 sections in between and pull it out. The fun thing with this with kids is that we can do different colored elastics. You could do Halloween themed with orange and green, Christmas themed with green and red. all of that kind of fun stuff. And the kids get to try it out as well. So again, holding onto the bottom, we're gonna pull it out a little bit on kind of all four sides so that we've got it a little bit bobbled. And there's a super fun way to tie your kids' hair back, but do something a little bit different. You can always add in some bows or like clips or anything like that, but this is easy, fun. It's gonna get it out of their face and it's not gonna get tangly. Using the same technique with the mini elastics, we're just gonna do a different variation of it. So I'm going to take a section, sideburn area, and do an angle all the way back, almost like you're gonna do a half up. So we're gonna do a diagonal to the top of the crown and secure that with a mini elastic. Here's my section, smooth it out a bit. So there's our section, diagonal back, there's the ponytail. We're gonna do the same on the other side. Take a section from the sideburn area to the top, and then smooth this top hair out with your wet brush for no tangles and no tears, and secure with an elastic. Here we have our two sections. Now, one of my favorite cute holiday looks is you take one of the ponytails that you've just done. When you're looping it around, we're not going to pull the ponytail all the way through. Okay, so we've got something that looks like, I call these bunny ears, okay? We're going to do the same to this side. There we go. So we've got two cute little bunny ears. You can leave it like this. Honestly, this is pretty freaking cute. Tie a little ribbon on there if you'd like. But if we want to make this into a bow on its own, this is such a cool idea. You would flip this upside down. So now this tail part that was at the bottom is now on the top. Okay, so we've just twisted it a bit. We split it in half, and that top section comes down, and we're going to secure it underneath the previous elastic. Now, to make your life easier, we're going to clip the sides away. Now we've got it split, it's out of our way. Now we can see where we want this guy to come back down. And I hold the elastic underneath and I feed it through. So now it's secure underneath. We can release this to make it secure. And you have a cute little side bow. Look at that. And we'll do the same to this side. Instead of going from the top down and making that bunny ear loop, you're gonna go from the bottom up and make that bunny tail loop. And that will create a little bit more of a square, where on this side we twisted it, which gives us that angle. This one's going to be more square across because we've secured it from the bottom up. So from this point, split it in half, secure with some clips, grab that little elastic underneath. I put my 2 fingers in it so that I know I can guide this top tail section through. Release the 2 sides. You can secure that a little bit tighter. And there we have 2 cute little hair bows in the hair. So you can imagine, you can see how this one's on an angle and this one's straight across. That just matters because we twisted this from the bottom up, knowing that it's going to twist back. This side, we've looped it from the bottom up, so we have it a little bit more square, so it doesn't want to rotate as much. But you can imagine doing this with just all of the hair back, half up. It's the perfect holiday style for the kiddos. Next go-to style is, again, we're taking those sections from the front hairline above the ears back, from the ears back on either side, and securing 2 with 2 elastics on top of the head. If your kid has a side part, go with the side part, angle it back. Whatever part the kid has, go with it, okay? Now, we have these two here. More elastics. We're gonna attach these two together. Just like so. And then we're going to flip it through, just like that. So there's two ways you can do that. You can put your hand underneath, open up those two fingers, guide that tail through, and then pinch and bring it down. The other way to do it is with a topsy-turvy. I'll show you. I'll have it linked for you. So this just makes it very user-friendly, okay? You're gonna slide it in, put the ponytail through the loop, and then you pull that down. Boom, done. Okay, from this point, we're gonna add more hair in, but we're not gonna incorporate it with this ponytail like we did before. We're just gonna do secure and elastic on top. So we're gonna take our hair from the sides. We're not including this one, we're leaving it out. Add that elastic, giving space in between, about 3 inches or whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you wanna do. This is trial and error. Try it farther away, do it closer together. It's always gonna look a little bit different. And we're gonna do that same topsy-turvy with this second section. So your topsy-turvy tool goes in, you can feed the tail through and then pull it down. At this point, because there's not a ton of hair, you can just take it and twist it through. Guys, come on, that's easy enough. And then I'm just gonna pull it a little bit tight at the bottom. I'm just doing teeny tiny pulls. That's it. So we're gonna continue down. I'm gonna take 2 more sections. Again, not incorporating this bottom middle section. We're just taking 2 and adding it on top. And I'm using black elastic so you can really see where those sections are. Have fun with them, do some colored ones. Again, we're gonna take this one, flip it through, little teeny tiny tugs on the outsides. We're not taking it and yanking it. We just wanna open that up a little bit more. And now we're at the very bottom. So we're gonna continue that same thing, but because we don't have hair to grab from the outside, what we're gonna do is we're gonna split that bottom one and incorporate onto the top. So you can take this top section and clip it away. So we're gonna take this one, the bottom section, that is all of those middle ponytails that have ended up at the bottom. We're splitting it, we can drop down that section, and then we're doing another one on top. So we're incorporating it, leaving that bottom one out. And we're gonna continue all the way down. Taking this section, doing that loop, pulling it that little bit tight on the sides. Now we need to split this section so you can clip this one up so it's a little bit easier. I'm just gonna show you how I do it without it. So this section underneath, I just grab from underneath and split, then I'm bringing it on top. And then flipping that one in, little tug. And we're basically at the end, so you could secure this on top with another one, just incorporating the 2, or you can just leave it. So this is another cute little style where it looks like a waterfall braid, but all we're doing is incorporating and twisting. Now, if your sections are inconsistent, where they get big, small, some are big, some are smaller, I'm gonna show you from this point of how to make it a little bit more even, but you don't have to, it's kids' hair, okay? You don't have to make it perfect. This one's a little bit lower, I wanna bring it up. I'm gonna take that section and pinch a little bit more through those sides. And now it's brought it up that little bit more, but we're gonna have to continue. So we're gonna take this one, pinch it up a little bit more, and then those ones kind of work as they are. So here is our twisty faux French braid, another style to do. Dance moms, this one's for you or any kid that wants to have a ballerina bun. And I know a lot of our kids, especially when they're younger, have very fine hair and not a lot of it. So it's very hard to make a ballerina bun. I've got some hacks for you, so pay attention. First thing we're gonna do is do a ponytail wherever we want that bun to be, whether it be high, medium, or low. You can do 2, We're starting with a ponytail and I'm gonna show you how to beef it up. Here is my ponytail. This is where I've placed the ponytail to do the ballerina bun. The first way to do a ballerina bun is that we are going to split this ponytail down the middle. So we have even sections on either side of the hair and we're pulling it all the way around, right? So we've got that middle section and we're pulling it on top, even sections all the way around, okay? And we're gonna secure this with an elastic. So it's resembling a bun, and then we're gonna secure with an elastic right on top, and it doesn't have to be done very tight at all. Now we have these pieces sitting out, depending on how long your kid's hair is. This is when we can take it, twist it, and wrap it around to hide that elastic, and then secure it with a bobby pin. This is the mannequin head. It's gonna be sticking out a little bit. Yours will be a little bit closer to the scalp. This is a very easy way to create the ballerina bun. If your kid doesn't have very much hair, I need to introduce you to the donut, okay? You can get these at the dollar store. You can get these on Amazon. They come with a hole in the middle and they have a mesh around them. That's what they're made out of, mesh. So you can stick bobby pins in them and not in our kids' scalp. It's pretty genius, but they come extremely dense. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna take it, cut it around the outside, and they're gonna end up like this. Okay, you're gonna unravel it and then you're gonna get 2 or 3 out of them. You don't need them to be that thick and that dense. This is going to create a thick bun, or the illusion of a thick bun, okay? So we're gonna take this, just like a ponytail, and we're gonna put it at the base, just like that. If your kid has really fine hair, you might have to twist it kind of just like an elastic to make sure it really gets on there. But this is the base to beef up our bun, pretend that we have more density to the hair. Now we're going to take the hair in 4 sections and loop it underneath to hide the hair donut and secure with bobby pin. I'm going to start on the top section. So I'm going to take a little bit. We're going to do 4 sections. So this is my top one. I'm going to take it, loop it around with my fingers, and we're gonna secure it with a bobby pin into the donut. So what I like to do first, I will take the bobby pin, clamp it into the tail of that hair, and now we're looping that in, and we can pin it and secure it to the top of the head, and then we can open it up and then start securing it into that donut. So we're gonna do that all the way around, but in only 4 sections: tops, sides, and then the back. Here is our side section. Okay, so we're gonna take it, loop the bobby pin already in, right? Secure in there, and now that's kind of our anchor, and we're gonna twist it underneath the hair and then slide it in that base of that hair, okay? Take your bobby pin, open it up, slide it in the tail. So now we have that anchored. Rotate it towards the hair and then slide it in that base. Back section, grab it, clamp it, rotate it under, and guide it into that base of the section. All right, so now we have it all in there, but we have spaces in between and it doesn't quite look like a bun yet. It almost looks like a 4-leaf clover because we can see all those sections and the pieces in between. All you're gonna do is take the 2 sections on either side and we're gonna pull them together. Take a little bit of hair on one section, a little bit on the other, and we're gonna bobby pin that in towards the donut. Now we're on this side. This one's quite a big gap, so we might need to use 2 bobby pins, but let's see how we go. So we're gonna stretch it out a titch, stretch out the top. We're gonna take a little bit of that one section, a little bit of the other, and then put it in towards the donut. So we've now closed that section, and we're gonna continue with our last 2 pinched together. So this one's a little gnarly. We've got those tails kind of hanging out. Just shove them in. So shove those little pieces in, and we're gonna do that same thing. Open up our bobby pin, grab a little bit from one side, grab a little bit from the other, keep it at the base of the hair, and slide it in towards that donut. Last section, we can see we have that gap and that opening, and we want to pinch those 2 together. So we're gonna take a little bit from the one side, a little bit from the other, keep the bobby pin at the base of the hair, and slide it in towards the donut. So what we're trying to do with using the donut is create volume and density at the base of the ponytail so that when we wrap the hair around it, the bun looks bigger and thicker. You can also use a sock, like your kid's sock. What you're gonna do is cut it at the toe so you have an opening on either end, and same thing, gather it together, put it in the base of the hair like a ponytail, and then we're gonna start wrapping hair around it. And we've got our full ballerina bun.